Okay, so good evening, Namaskar, and Hare Krishna to all of you. I'm sure more people will be joining soon, as I can see. So, this is our second session. Effectively, first session, you can say, because last session it was mainly curtain raiser to just to give an outline of what we plan to do over the next few months to help basically everyone to study Bhagavad Gita in a very systematic way. So today we are beginning with actually the introduction part. And as I was telling you last time, the introduction of Bhagavad Gita in Bhagavad Gita as it is runs to around 34 pages. So there is a lot of material in the introduction alone. And introduction is basically like a foundation. If we get a good grip of this foundation, then it will be very smooth sailing once the chapters begin. So today and next Saturday will be introduction. So today I will do part one, and next Saturday our Shyam Sundar Raoji will do part two, and then subsequently we'll begin with the chapters. As you know, there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. So we'll begin chapter 1 in the following week, that is 2 weeks from now. And as I informed last time, approximately 10 verses we'll try to cover per session. So 700 verses can be covered in roughly around 70 sessions, adding 2 more sessions for the introduction and maybe depending upon some festive occasion or some other occasion maybe. So around 75 sessions, we should be done. Can I request everyone to come on the video because I want to see some smiling faces that will keep me motivated. Because otherwise, it is very difficult for the speaker to stay motivated. I'm very happy that Sri Raghu Pillaiji, my teacher in the Train the Trainer, has come, and I'm very, very glad and indebted to him for his participation today. And I want to see more faces coming on the screen so that it will be nice because this is basically an interactive session. I don't want to make it like a, just one-sided thing, and then that becomes very boring also for the speaker also and for the audience also. So let's try to keep it as remaining people also can come on the screen if they are okay. I'm not going to force anyone, but it will be nice because we want to make it something, very different. Batraji, namaskar. So, okay. Good
Namaskar.
evening, Shrikant Ambikeji, and good evening to Tiruvaya, Rajesh, and Chetana. So nice to see some
Prabhuji.
of you. And okay, so now I'll start sharing the screen. The recording is on, so I'll share the screen now, what we plan to do. Okay, so here I go. So is the screen clearly visible to all? Can I see some thumbs up from anybody? Is the
Yes,
screen
sir.
visible to all? Okay, very good.
Yes.
Okay. So here we go. We start with the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. That is part one today. And I will do a quick 10 minutes recap to what we learned or studied last week, just for the not only for the benefit of all, but also to set the right flow in motion. Okay. Last time, one or two persons they requested me, ki, if possible, try to intermix with Hindi also in between. That will be nice. So I will see if the majority wants that way. We'll try to put in between. I'll try to introduce some Hindi terms also, but otherwise the flow is going to be in English more or less. So Bhagavad Gita introduction. So as you know, there are 700 verses in this transcendental literature, Bhagavad Gita. And out of 700, which I mentioned last time, okay, Lord Krishna has actually recited or spoken 574 verses. Arjuna has spoken 84 verses. And Sanjaya, who was having the Divya Drishya of seeing the complete thing from a remote place, he spoke, he recited 41 verses. And of course, Dhritarashtra has recited only one verse, which is the first verse of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so one second. Another thing of note is that the entire Bhagavad Gita, these verses, are beautifully recited by the Lord Himself, or even Arjuna and Sanjaya, all in what is called as Anushtup Chandaha. Anushtup Chandaha is a Sanskrit meter. Okay, and the speciality of Anushtup Chandaha is that it is only 4 lines and very, very easy to recite and very, very easy to even remember. So we have to remember that Anushtup Chandaha is the thing. And Bhagavad Gita primarily gives us, any type of knowledge, can be divided into 3 parts. Acquired knowledge, what we learn from books, like our mundane knowledge is basically acquired knowledge. And then realized knowledge. That means when you, whatever knowledge you acquired and you start applying them, on a day-to-day basis, then that becomes Vigyan, Jnana, Vigyan. That is applied technology or applied knowledge, that is realized knowledge. Because you have realized something and then you're applying it. And then when you do 1 and 2, then automatically more revelations come within. That's the beauty. Bhagavad Gita verses, when you go on, reading again and again and again, unlike any other mundane literatures, you never get satiated. You just want to know more, and because more and more knowledge window is opening, that is revelation. So revealed knowledge. So we know that without knowledge, we cannot apply, no application, and if you cannot apply, there is no realization also. All right.
ಇದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ?
Can I had muted everyone next? I don't know, somebody's unmuted.
ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅದ ಹೋಗೋದು.
1 second, I'll just mute. Somebody HK and written in Telugu, I think. The person is muted. I don't know who is that person, but I've unmuted. Muted now. It was unmuted actually. Yeah. Okay.
Use the comment from Urari.
Okay. I think I need to mute everyone. 1 second. Okay. All right. So we move on. Does anybody remember why we had named this group as Gitamritam Rasamalayam? Anybody from last week who had attended? Does anybody remember? Can raise your hand and then tell me why we have named this as Gitamritam Rasamalayam. What is the meaning of Gitamritam Rasamalayam? Anyone wants to just take a guess and answer? Okay, so Gitamritam Rasamalayam, we said in the last week, is that Gita is basically the song of God. So Geet means song, and Bhagavad Gita is a song of God. And this was recited when Arjuna was in deep distress. He was in the battlefield. He was losing his composure, fully stressed out, like a 12th standard boy going to his examination, and even though he has prepared well, but somehow at the time of examination he is sweating and is not able to remember anything that he has studied and is confused, and a lot of things are going in the mind. And at that time this Gita was actually delivered to Arjuna. Okay, so therefore it came like a nectar. It's a nectar of life. Amritam is nectar, because Arjuna is our representative, and through Arjuna we are getting this nectar of Bhagavad Gita. And Rasamalayam, Rasam is a juice, because it keeps on pouring the juice, and it is never ending. And importantly, it is for the entire journey of life. As you can see here, right from your birth till the growth, young age, youth, and then when you are completely grown man, and then again old age, very old, and then dwindle. So this is a complete sequence, and then we die. So this is a juice which we can go on taking periodically, regularly, if possible daily, to ensure that we understand the art of living and then we also understand the art of dying. It's very, very important. Both are important. Art of living, art of dying. Okay, this is what we discussed last time. And we said that this wisdom, even though it is so old, old in the sense it was spoken in Dwapar Yuga. Now we are in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga span is 4,32,000 years, out of which 5,000 years are over. So before the beginning of Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga was there. Towards the end of Dwapar Yuga, this entire Mahabharata Bhagavad Gita episode was there. So we are still talking about it, we are still discussing about it. It means that it's a wisdom that is breathing in our heart. It is touching our heart. We discussed this last time. And then we also said, what are the two qualities that Arjuna possessed, due to which he was able to receive this transcendental knowledge. The two qualities are tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So two qualities are, he was ready to inquire in a submissive manner. Bhagavad Gita cannot be understood in an authoritative manner. It cannot be understood in a scholarly manner. It can only be understood in a submissive manner and by rendering service to the Lord. Sevaya. Pariprashnena sevaya. So if we follow these footsteps of Arjuna, then we will also succeed in understanding Bhagavad Gita the way that Arjuna understood. Okay, I'm remembering one episode. I forgot to mention about this in the last class, but it's a very important thing. It's a real episode that happened in Srirangam, Tamil Nadu. It happened about 500 years back. There was a Brahmana, illiterate Brahmana, who did not know how to read or write properly. Okay, so in the Srirangam temple, he was sitting with the Bhagavad Gita in his hand, and he was all the time, in tears and completely about to say, he was trembling. He was the tears are flowing. At the same time, he is not able to express to anyone. Okay, so and this happened each time he took Bhagavad Gita in his hand. So people around him thought that he is a illiterate person. What will he understand Bhagavad Gita? And they were making fun of him and they were laughing at him. Okay, but on the occasion when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he traveled to South India from Jagannath Puri, and he went to Srirangam and he met this Brahmana. So at that time he noticed this Brahmana was experiencing ecstatic symptoms. Okay, and at the same time people are saying that he's illiterate. What will he understand Bhagavad Gita? He's totally illiterate. So he went to the Brahmana and he asked him that which portion of Bhagavad Gita are you really enjoying, that so much of ecstasy symptoms are coming on your face and on the body, and you're so much in joy. The Brahmana replied that I'm illiterate. I'm just reading Bhagavad Gita as it is given by my guru, and he has ordered me to read Bhagavad Gita. But I'm not able to read anything properly. Okay, then why are you in tears? And why are you in so much ecstatic symptoms? Your hairs are standing and so many other symptoms are there. So he replied saying that when I sit with Bhagavad Gita, I can only see Krishna sitting as Arjuna's charioteer. That picture, when I'm seeing Krishna sitting as Arjuna's charioteer, taking the reins in his hands, and he's appearing so beautiful and blackish in color. Seeing this picture, I am filled with emotions and I get ecstatic happiness. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so pleased with his reply that he said that this is your perfected the devotion. This is devotion. You don't have to be a scholar, because in a very submissive way and in a very faithful way, you're following your guru and you're able to understand the complete tattva. So in other words, what this teaches us is that one doesn't need to be an erudite scholar to learn Bhagavad Gita. Somebody will say that I'm a Sanskrit scholar. Okay, so I know everything about Bhagavad Gita. It helps, no doubt. It is not the prerequisite. Okay, and also to have a sharp intelligence is not a prerequisite. You can be illiterate. You can be totally, not connected to Bhagavad Gita. But if you are able to connect to the right emotions by, in a submissive way, if you are able to understand this, that is the criteria, important criteria for us to assimilate this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, and we discussed about the benefits of studying Bhagavad Gita. It will basically, our attitude will change over a period of time, and it's attitude and not aptitude that determines our altitude. We said that last time, and we also said that we must follow it. Basically, it's a dharmic part. Bhagavad Gita teaches us dharma, and when we learn and follow and teach dharma at a very early stage in our life, then there is a very good chance as parents we could teach our children proper dharma also. Okay, and otherwise we said, see here there's a picture. Teach your children dharma before someone else teaches them adharma. See, children at a young age can be misguided in school, in college, because parents never taught them anything. Parents never took interest. Both the parents are working day and night in the corporate, and the child is left at the care of somebody else. And then this is what happens eventually. So the responsibility of the parents is there to ensure that proper dharma is taught to the children at a very young age. And Bhagavad Gita gives us that knowledge. We are able to cope better in pressure situations. We are having pressure cooker situations all the time. It is not that only Arjuna faced the situation, pressure situation in the battlefield. Each one of us are facing this every day in our life. Whatever field, even if you're a homemaker, take it from me, you are under pressure. Everyone is under pressure. The child is under pressure. The school going boy is under pressure. Somebody who's going to office is under pressure. A teacher is under pressure. Married couple is under pressure. Old people are under pressure. There is nobody who's exempted without that, because this is the way the world is approaching. Kali Yuga is basically a symptom of all that. So a person who is read Bhagavad Gita, not that he will not face pressure, he will be able to cope with the pressure better. And besides that, he will deal in all management situations, whether time management or anger management, conflict management, disaster management, people management, all the leadership qualities will automatically come, and also the communication skills will come. Okay, he doesn't have to go to any other coaching classes. Automatically, it will start coming. It will manifest, and it improves the cognitive skills and the memory as well. When we start reading the verses, memory increases, and our overall demeanor becomes very good. We become very confident too. Okay, so, and then we understand that there is over a period of time, there's a complete transformation within ourselves. We don't even realize, but we are completely transformed for the good. We learn how to think differently from the world views. We don't have to follow a stereotype, approach. We can think out of the box better. You can think differently. We can become a better version of ourselves. And we learn how not to deny or delay our spiritual progress. See, spirituality is our integral part. We cannot deny that. And we are only delaying it or denying it, saying that we'll do it at the time of retirement, ya baad mein karenge, abhi time nahi hai. These are all lame excuses. Okay. If you read this, then you get information, and we discussed that last time. And from information, we get purification, and from purification, there is transformation. And of course, once we are transformed, then the onus is upon Krishna. He will protect us. He will give us protection. He will correct us whenever we want. Correction will be there, and we will just be satisfied. Satisfaction will come, and therefore we develop conviction also. And then that is the stage we all want to reach. Sorry. So we have to move from stressful to blissful. This is what we said last time also. So we have this human being, we have this inquisitive nature. Each one of us are blessed with inquisitive nature. We are different from other living species. Athato Brahma Jigyasa is the first aphorism of Vedanta Sutra. Now one should inquire. And what are the inquiries we should make? The higher inquiries. Not that how I'll make money, how I'll become rich, how I'll become like Mukesh Ambani. Those are all the byproducts. You don't have to worry about that. You have to look for the higher purpose. The higher purpose is, who am I? Okay. who is God, what is the purpose of mine in this world, what is the purpose, what is my purpose in life. Okay, all these higher questions you have to ask. And this higher question is possible only in human species. In all other species, there are 8.4 million species. And there is Jalaja Navalakshani. That means Jalaja means aquatics. 9 lakhs of aquatic species are there. Then Stavara Lakshavimshati. Plants. Stavara means that which are stationary. Plants, trees, etc. There are 20 lakhs of them. Then Kramayo Rudra Sankhya Kaha. That means insects, something that is crawling. Insects, reptiles, they are all 11 lakh species. Then there is Pakshinam. Pakshinam, Dashalakshanam. That means 10 lakhs of birds are there, Pakshis. Then there is Trimsha Lakshani Pashvaha, that is beasts. These are also there, 30 lakhs. And Chatur Lakshani Manushaha, that is 4 lakhs of human species are there. So it is not that we are majority. We are only 4 lakhs types. We are not. It's not the number of human beings. Number of human beings we know are we are in billions. These are 4 lakh types of human beings. Okay, and 4 lakh types means we are differing in consciousness. There are different types of consciousness in the human being. There are 4 lakh types of consciousness. Now, amongst all if you see commonality between all these 8.4 million species, the common things are eating, sleeping, mating, defending. All the species, whether it is human being or animal, they all do this very nicely. Human beings will eat on the table in a very dignified way. The animal will eat in its own way. Human being will sleep on a nice cozy bed. The animal will sleep in its own way. Once we are in the sleep, we don't know whether we are on the cozy bed or we are sleeping on the thongs, nothing, because we are deep sleep. Similarly, mating and defending, everybody does. All the living species will do mating and defending. In fact, animals, the other species are more into that fear mode, compared to human beings. So this is the common thing. But what is the unique between human being and the rest of the species is there is something that is a higher principles of life. Ahara nidra bhayam aitunanja samanyam etat pashubir naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubi samana. This is a verse from Hitopanishad. This says that eating, sleeping, fearing and mating are parts of humans which are common with animals also. But dharma is basically a higher quality which only human beings have, and that distinguishes the human being from animals. And those who are devoid of dharma, among the human beings, if I say that I don't believe in this, I don't follow dharma, then it is said that they are same as, they have to be categorized as animals. It is sad, but that's a fact. So their consciousness is that low. It's like an animal consciousness. So we have to understand that it's like, there is a difference between a pilot and a truck driver. A truck driver is given the license to drive on the road. Okay. And the pilot, first he goes around the aerodrome, and once he comes to that elevation point of good speed, he has to take off. That's why he's given the pilot license. If he keeps on going in circles in the airport, in the aerodrome, then the pilot license will be taken away from him, and instead he will get a 4-wheeler license. You are better off with that license. So if we as human being do not try to even ask this basic question, what am I supposed to learn as dharma? What am I supposed to have that extra quality? Then we are like the same situation, like animals. And this is what actually the Vedic principles are teaching us. Vedas, which are emanations of God, has been directly implanted in the heart of Lord Brahma. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kaviye. Lord Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam it is said. That means the Vedas has been directly implanted. Brahma is the first living being of this universe. When he is coming out of the lotus from the navel of Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, he is saying that there is nobody else, I am alone. Then some sound comes, tapasya karo. And he does tapasya for several thousands and millions of years. And then automatically this knowledge is revealed to him. So that is basically Vedas. So it's an operation manual for the universe. And Vedas is truthful knowledge. For instance, Vedic statements are perfect. Vedic statements say that by mistake, if you touch the stool of any animal, okay, including dog, you have to take bath. Otherwise, you are impure. However, it says that if you touch cow dung, you don't have to take bath because cow dung is pure. And there are experimental evidence which goes to say that cow dung has got antiseptic properties. Recently, I saw a video where UAE is importing tons and tons of cow dung from India because they found that through cow dung, some of their barren desert land is becoming fertile, and they are able to now do some vegetation and cultivation and all that. So Vedas has already predicted this, at the beginning of creation. And there are so many predictions like Buddha will come, Chanakya will come, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Chandragupta, Ashoka, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all these are predicted. And one by one, everything is happening. So Vedic literature means for us 4 Vedas, 108 Upanishads, 18 Puranas, Itihas, which is, Itihas means history, Mahabharata and Ramayana, and Vedanta Sutra, which are reformisms. So remember, Mahabharata and Ramayana are history and they are not mythology. The mythology word has been taught to us by the British because they said this happens. Who has seen 5,000 years back? You don't believe it. You believe what has happened 2,000 years back, but you don't believe what has happened 5,000 years back. Shall we say that Jesus Christ was also a mythology figure? No, we believe, right? So similarly, all these things which are appearing in our Itihas are actually historical. Okay. So Mahabharata is a history of great India, Bharat, and therefore it is also called as the 5th Veda. Some acharyas they classify that as the 5th Veda. It is conclusions of all the Vedic stories and easy to understand. It starts off with a gambling match. This Mahabharata is a beautiful big story. Starts off with a gambling match between Kauravas and Pandavas. We know that where the Kauravas headed by Duryodhan is tricking the Pandavas, and the Pandavas lost that match. And not only did they lose, they lost everything. They lost wealth, kingdom, their beloved wife Draupadi, and everything. Virtually everything they lost. And as a result, they were dumped into the forest for 12 years, exiled, and then 1 year incognito. And if they are identified or spotted during incognito, then again repeat the same thing. So this was all a big mega plan by the Kauravas. And of course, on successful completion of the exile and incognito, Duryodhan, they came back, but Duryodhan refused to comply to his agreement. Then Lord Krishna, at the request of the Pandavas, he tried to broker a peaceful solution. Despite being the supreme personality, he went and virtually begged to Dhritarashtra, to Bhishma Dev, to all the entire Kaurav clan, the various acharyas, Kripacharya, Dronacharya, everybody went, and then finally to Duryodhan and his entire brothers. But what did he get in reply? Duryodhan said he was adamant. He said, forget it. I'm not going to give him 5 provinces. That is what Pandavas wanted as per the earlier agreement. Forget that. I'm not even going to give you 5 villages. Forget 5 villages. I'm not even going to give you a piece of land in which 1 pin can accommodate. This was what he took in a very stern way. And he was backed by all the elders also. Okay. And the result was the Great War of India, Mahabharata, Dharma Yudh. Now, in this Yudh, both the armies are ready at the fight. This happened in Kurukshetra. Now it is in Haryana, Kurukshetra. And Arjuna, the great warrior, the great warrior Arjuna, suddenly, he decided that he doesn't want to fight. Can you imagine this? If your son or daughter tells you tomorrow, after studying so well for the entire year, oh, dad, I'm not able to go to the examination tomorrow. It has happened to me. I have done that to my parents when I was studying my 2nd year graduation. Suddenly, I forgot everything in the middle of the night. And at 2:30, I woke up my daddy and I said, I'm not able to remember anything now. And I'll take a drop in the sense I can carry forward to the next year and I will do. My daddy was very cool and he told my elder sister that you please console him and counsel him. And in about 1 hour's time, she counseled me and I was feeling little bit better. Halka ho gaya man. Then I next day morning, without sleeping whole night, I went to give the examination. It was industrial chemistry, and I passed. And I passed in flying colors also, because suddenly when I went and appeared, all things started coming out. When I went, I was blank. So this can happen to all of us. I'm sure most of you must have undergone this at some point of lifetime. There is thunder and a lot of things are happening outside, thundering and raining. So Arjuna, the great warrior, he suddenly virtually collapsed. The bow started slipping from his hand. His mouth was quivering, and he was unwilling to fight. Now, at that time, in the middle of the battlefield, this great Lord Krishna, when he gave these teachings to Arjuna on the battle of the great song of Bhagavad Gita, the song of God. Therefore, Krishna also says in the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, he says, Vedesha sarve ahameva vedyo vedantakri veda eva chaham. He says that I am to be known. The purpose of knowing Vedas is me. I am to be known. I am the compiler of Vedas and I am the knower of Vedas. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic literatures. So even if you have not studied any Vedas, don't worry. Don't be moralized. It's impossible in Kali Yuga for us to assimilate the entire Vedas. Just study Bhagavad Gita, because it is called Gita Upanishad. Okay? And the trick here is that the subject matter should be learned in a very, as I said, in a submissive manner, and it's best transmitted top down. That means if you learn from a guru disciple, like a parampara, that is the best way to learn this kind of transcendental knowledge. And this disciplic succession is given from Krishna. And on the 32nd, you can see A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, the founder of ISKCON. It is coming in a complete disciplic succession. There is nothing, like self-created or speculative knowledge. This is there, you can find in Bhagavad Gita book, Bhagavad Gita as it is book, on the 30th page. This entire thing is published. Okay? And so this is the Bhagavad Gita as it is. So if you don't have this book yet, please purchase this book, Bhagavad Gita, not any other Bhagavad Gita, but Bhagavad Gita as it is, by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And here, it is basically the knowledge that is given, is knowledge as it is, given by Krishna, and the knowledge that is to be understood by Arjuna is also expressed. So this needs an Acharya to explain to us. Somebody can digest the food and give it to us in a very nice form. It will be easy for us to digest. So that is what he has done. So therefore, we come to this situation of what this actually comprises. Okay, again, we are still on introduction only. So don't worry, we are not jumping into chapter 1 or something not very complicated. It's all very simple things we are dealing today. Entire Bhagavad Gita is very simple. If we feel that this is something, it's for me. If you think that this is complicated and very abstract, then you will see that you are going away from Bhagavad Gita. It's a very, I don't know how to explain this. This is a really divine knowledge. Like you have to fall in love with it, then the knowledge falls in love with you. Otherwise, if you think that this is not for me, knowledge also will go away from you. So that is how actually this whole thing works. It's a simple trick. So there is a nice verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the book that talks about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in that book it is mentioned, Veda Shastre Kahe Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana Krishna Krishna Bhakti Prema Tina Mahadana. What it means is that, this entire, in the Vedas, Krishna is the central point of attraction, and we have to fall in love with him. Krishna is central point of attraction, and our service to him should be our main activity. Okay, so sambandha, we have to establish a relationship. Sambandha we say in Hindi also. Sambandha jodna hai. So sambandha is how you establish a relationship, and this is not a mundane relationship. This is forever, eternal relationship. The relationship actually exists, but we have forgotten. It's like a rich father whose son has been lost in Kumbh Mela, and the son is just wandering about where to find the father. And somebody in the Kumbh Mela comes and tells, "Hey, I know you very well. I know your father also. Come, hold my hand, and I'll connect you to your father." So that is sambandha jodna. So like that, we have lost our sambandha with Krishna since time immemorial, and our complete knowledge is now with all accumulation of a lot of filthy knowledge, which are not required. So we have to clear what is not required. We have to clear it off, and we have to then when the heart becomes clear, then automatically we can see our sambandha being re-established. So we have to re-establish this connection, and abhideya is the process which will help us to re-establish this connection. Okay, and prayojan is a result. Now, what happens when the son is connected to the rich father? Once again, he enjoys all the opulences. So once he was separated, he was not having proper food to eat. He was being completely discarded. He was abused. He was battered. He was bruised, and everything. But once he is connected back, he comes back to his origin. So exactly our situation is like that. We are lost children in this material world. We don't belong to this world. We belong to the spiritual world. Somehow or other, we have fallen into this material world because we desired to enjoy independently like Krishna. So Krishna created this material world. Okay, you go there and enjoy yourself and you see how you feel. Then now we have realized it when we experience and we reach a maturity, we say that, oh, everything is, nothing is happy really. Everything is temporary. Whatever I do is temporary. So I need that happiness which is going to last forever. And that happiness is nothing but Krishna Prem. So to attain that Prem that's a goal. That's a prayojan. So for that you have to follow the Abhideya process. Abhideya is a process of understanding. It's basically an activity which you have to perform. And then before that, we have to establish the connection. Because unless I know the person, I cannot, serve him. So today we will come back, we'll study the Sambandha part. In Sambandha, there are a few things to understand. And next week, Sri Shyam Rao, he'll cover the Abhideya part and Prayojana part. Okay. So with that, we move to the Sambandha part. So Sambandha is eternal relationship with Krishna. So eternal relationship is basically composing 4 components. First thing is you have to understand you are using the support of Bhagavad Gita. So you have to understand the spirit of Gita. When you read some novel, authored by somebody, if I read some novel, like say The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, the book. So the author is who? Robin. So we have to understand what he is trying to convey. And if you understand what he tries to convey, there's a very good chance that you will understand the monk who sold his Ferrari in the way that he has presented. So the spirit of Gita is nothing but it's basically understand the Lord himself. To understand the Lord himself. Okay, and that is what we'll try to understand. And what is the purpose of this understanding? What is the purpose of Gita? That is to deliver mankind from nescience of material existence. And there are 5 subject matters in Bhagavad Gita. That is Ishvara or Jagdish, Jiva or living beings, Prakriti or material nature, Jagat, Prakriti or Jagat, then Kala or time, and Karma. Karma is activity that you perform. These 5 are the central point. Whatever you look at it, we are fitting into this 5, one of the 5s. And then the process of understanding Gita. Vedic knowledge is infallible. We will try to understand that. So these 5 things we'll try to understand today in the topic that is called Sambandha. So first thing is spirit of Gita. Now the spirit of Gita is the speaker himself, who is Lord Krishna, because everything is spoken by him. So why I should not understand what the speaker is expected me to do? I give an analogy here. Now suppose if I have to take a particular medicine, okay? Now how will I follow the instructions? I'll actually see the instructions on the label of the medicine, or I'll follow the directions of the physician, correct? The doctor. Now if I say whimsically that my friend told me you take this medicine and this will work. It worked for him. That is a bit whimsical. And further will be that if I try to administer myself and then see how whether it works or not, that is foolishness. So here we have to try to understand the spirit of Gita by the speaker himself. What is he trying to say in Bhagavad Gita? So in every page of Bhagavad Gita, he is addressed as Bhagavan. So Krishna is addressed as Bhagavan virtually in every page. And besides that, he himself is telling his supremacy. His own about himself is telling. In the 10th chapter, 8th verse, he says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartete iti matva bhajante ma bhudabhava samanvitah. So what this means is that he says, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me, he says. Everything emanates from me. Mata sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam. The wise who know this, the wise who tries to know this, okay, as I am the origin and I am the cause of everything, and Buddha Bhava Samanvita. So such a person will basically understand that he will engage in my devotional service only, and then he will worship me with all their hearts. The wise who knows this, that I am the supreme personality of Godhead, the wise who know that I am everything emanates from me, and then I am the object of worship. He should know that how to perfectly engage his devotional service onto me and worship me with all their hearts. That is what he's expecting us to do. And this is also confirmed by the great acharyas. Lord Brahmaji himself is saying in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karanam Karanam. So Ishvara Parama Krishna, he says, Brahmaji says, Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme of all the gods. He is supreme Godhead, therefore. He is Satchitananda Vigraha. So he is eternally blissful. He is Satchitananda, he is eternal and is blissful. And he is the origin, Adi, Anadir Adir. So there is nothing, no truth above him. He is the origin of everything and he is the cause of everything. Sarva Karana Karanam. So, okay, in a simple layman language, if you have to understand this, if I have to understand the personality of a managing director of a company, if I try to just read from books, some books, magazines, I will understand in some way. Okay, then I go to the company and I tell the security, I want to meet Mr. So and so. So he asked me, do you know him? So I said, no, I don't know him. No, you have to first take an appointment, then come. So then I try my way, I take an appointment, and then I enter the company. Then once I enter the company, I meet the secretary that I have come to meet Mr. So and so. So she says, okay, you have an appointment. Okay, at 10 o'clock you have come. Okay, I will check the schedule and he's available and you can go and meet him now. After, of course, doing all the due, checks and all that. Directly, you're not allowed to meet a managing director. Now, when you meet the managing director himself, whatever you have understood of him, you have done some homework before meeting him, and now you're talking to him. Immediately, tuck, 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 tuck. You're sitting in front of him. You see his personality that gets registered. You see how graceful he is in receiving you. Such a great person is standing up to come to outside the cabin to receiving you. He is shaking his hands with you. You are feeling really comfortable. You are feeling so great. And then with a pleasing smile, he says, please have a seat. And then would you like to have tea, coffee? Would you like to eat something? I mean, he's making you so feel comfortable. Then at the end of the meeting, when you go out, you remember all the good qualities about him. And then you try to imbibe some qualities that he had. No wonder he's such a big man, I say. So like that, we should try to understand the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. And this can be understood in disciplic succession. A seer can tell you what he has seen. And if I have not seen, I cannot share what I have seen. So I can only share what the seer is saying. So here, Krishna himself says three things to Arjuna. He says, my dear Arjuna, imam vivasyate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivaswan manave praha manur ikshvake abravet. Then he says, evam parampara praptam imam rajarsayo viduhu sakalineha mahata yogo nashta parantapaha sa evayam maya dedya yoga prokta purantanaha bhaktosmi me sakaseti rahasyam he etat uttamam. So three things he says one after another. What it means? It means that this yoga, that is this science of Bhakti Yoga, my dear Arjuna, you are not the first person to receive it. It appears to us that he first spoke to Arjuna, but he tells now to Arjuna the truth. He says, I first spoke to Vivaswan. Who is Vivaswan? He is a sun god. And Vivaswan spoke to his son. Okay, that is Manu. Then Manu spoke to his son. That is Ikshvaku. So in this way, there is a disciplic succession established that is called Parampara. So then he says, Evam Para Parampara. So he established a Parampara, Imam Rajarsayo Vidu. And this Parampara knowledge was received by Rajarsayo Vidu. That means by saintly kings. And they understood it in a very actual way. But somehow, down the line, Sa Kaleneha Mahata Yoga Nashta Parandapa, this knowledge got lost. This knowledge got lost. And I remember everything. But Arjuna, you were also there, but you have forgotten. Now I am repeating through you, and through you I am establishing another parampara. So Arjuna was very fortunate that one new parampara, he directly heard from the speaker himself. So he says, Sa evam maya, se evayam maya teya yokta yoga proktaha puranataha. That means this is a very old science, Purana. This yoga is very Purana. It is not something new. Krishna is saying this to Arjuna. This old knowledge is giving. But why I am giving it to you? He is giving the reason also. He is saying, Bhaktosmi me sakyate. That means you are my devotee also, Bhakta, and you are my Saka, friend also. So the criteria is clearly defined here. You have to be his devotee and you have to be his friend. Being his friend is basically like you are enjoying a rasa, enjoying a relationship with Lord. That is what he's saying. And then this rasya, that is transcendent knowledge, or uttamam, that is the topmost transcendent knowledge, is revealed to him. So it is said that in the spiritual world, there are 5 types of mellows or transcendental rasas. The lowest of that is shantaras. That means you can be serving the Lord as a shanta. That means like a tree, something that is stationary. But still you are serving the Lord. Maybe you are giving some nice fruits and the Lord is enjoying. That is also a relationship you are having with the Lord, Shanta. Then there is a next higher level is Dasya. Dasya ras is like a servitor attitude. Like whatever you say, oh my Lord, I will do. Like Hanuman. Hanuman was a Dasya of Lord Ramchandra. So that is another mellow. Then it is Sakya. Sakya is like a good friend. Arjuna was a very good friend of Krishna. So Krishna likes that. He wants to have some relationship with us. So this is another relationship. And then still higher is Vatsalya. Vatsalya means like a parent. Like Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, Devaki, Vasudev. They love Krishna as father and mother. So that also Krishna likes as a parental love. And then there is Madhurya. That is conjugal love. The gopis and Radhika, that is Radharani, they have that kind of relationship with him. So these are the various type of relationship, and we have to find one way or other how to align ourselves in a particular rasa. So we have to be his devotee, bhakta, and we have to have a rasa. If we have these 2 things, then he says that this knowledge can be easily transmitted. So Bhagavad Gita is thus best, enjoyed by direct relationship with the Lord. Now it's difficult for us to get the direct relationship, but his Vani is there in Bhagavad Gita, and then through disciplic succession, it is taught from one generation to another, like Acharyas and Guru Parampara. So we have to directly serve a Guru. When we serve a Guru, then automatically this knowledge comes down. And then once the knowledge is assimilated, Arjuna is fully convinced now. He has received the knowledge, and then he has got a Divya Chakshusha. Immediately Krishna presented him this, and then he got complete, everything is clear. And then he says, Arjuna says, Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusha Shaswatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhu. What is that meaning? Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode. Your abode is ultimate, the purest, and you are the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. Then he says, Ahustvam Rasaya Sarve Devarshir Narada Stata Asito Devalya Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishyame. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. How fortunate. So now everything is clear. Krishna revealed the knowledge and immediately gave him that divine understanding. He immediately accepted, and he could see. He could not only see Krishna, but he could see his abode also. And everything was clear, crystal clear before him. And then he further says that all these sages have also confirmed this in scriptures about you. So I am fully convinced. And therefore he says, Afterwards, Sarvamedad Ridam Manye Yanmam Badasi Kesava Nahite Bhagwan Vyaktim Vidur Devana Dhanava. What does that mean? Oh Krishna, I totally accept whatever you have said as truth, and neither the demigods, that means devatas, nor the demons, oh Lord, can understand your personality. So you can understand even the Devtas were not blessed. The Devtas are like ministers under the Prime Minister who have been assigned certain responsibilities. Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varuna. There are so many Devtas. They all are carrying certain portfolios. In that, they are empowered. But the source is coming from Krishna. And now Arjuna is saying that I have understood you in such a way that even these Devtas have not understood you. Demons are out of question. So this is what actually we should also aim for. So therefore, the summary of the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, that is Bhagavan. Lord Krishna can be understood only by relationship, that is having a rasa with him. And without devotional service or bhakti yoga, one cannot understand Lord Krishna. So the readers should take them in the spirit of bhakti. So devotion is the only option to understand the spirit of bhakti. Now we go to the second topic of the Sambandha, that is the purpose of Gita. Now I just wanted to, the time is around, I think, 7:50. I might take 20 minutes more, so please bear with me because this introduction is quite vast. But the foundation, once it's established, then from chapter 1 onwards, we will stick to our timing of 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Okay. So the purpose of Gita, we'll try to understand. The purpose of Gita, he says, is to deliver mankind from the nescience of material existence. Okay, material existence means completely darkness and nescience. And in 8.15 of Bhagavad Gita, he says, Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gataha. So what he says, now Krishna is declaring this, even though his material world is also his creation, but he says one important word in this verse. He says, this material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Two adjectives. Dukkhalayam means it's basically a place of misery. So he is declared it. So whatever we try to do in this world, ultimately it's a place of misery. The person who has created is declaring it. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Ashashvatam means something that is not shashvat. Shashvat means eternal, permanent. Ashashvata means temporary. So, what is the point in spending the time in this place which is temporary? One day you are going to be kicked out of this world. So he says, therefore, he says not only Arjuna but so each one of us are full of anxieties because of this material existence. So in the meaning of this verse is that he says, after attaining me, the great souls, that is Mahatmana, who are completely immersed in my devotion, they will never return back. They will never return. Napnuvanti, they will never return back into this material world, which is full of miseries. So, like Arjuna, we are also full of anxieties and in this material existence. But actually all of us are in anxieties, but only few of us are even worried to inquire. Everybody will agree that we are having some difficulty, but they don't go for the solution. They are looking for a material solution for a problem that doesn't exist in materially. It's basically a solution that can only get spiritual. You have to understand the higher principles. So therefore, only few of us are actually inquiring about the actual position of who we are, why we are put into this miserable condition, and why do bad things happen to good people? Sometimes we see, the person is so good, everything good about him. Are bapare. Still this happened to him? My God. If there is God, then God should not have done this to him. So all these questions will be answered in Bhagavad Gita. We don't have to rush into the answer right now. We'll go steady pace, but park this question. It's a very important question. Why do bad things happen to good people? Okay? And then we will see how the answer is unfold. So this summary of the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is, in material world, everyone is full of miseries. The cause of suffering and actual destination is worth of inquiry. We should actually ask this. Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to answer these questions. So you should have faith that all your queries will be answered. And the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to completely relieve us of all these anxieties. Now, the third component of this Sambandha is the 5 subject matters. Now, dear friends, please pay a lot of attention to this part. Next 10 minutes, what I'm going to speak, because this is the sum and substance of the entire Bhagavad Gita. If you are able to understand little bit of what I'm saying today, then the chapters, subsequent chapters will become very, very easy to understand. This is a complete tattva, philosophy, but it is spoken in such a way, and I'm trying my best to present in a schematic way. Okay, so the 5 subject matters that Bhagavad Gita covers are Ishvara, that is God; Jiva, that is the living entities or Atma, the soul; 3, Prakriti, the complete material nature; 4, Kala or time; and 5, Karma or the ethical rule or the activities, you can say. These 5 things are covered in Bhagavad Gita. And whether we agree or not, we are bound by all these things in this life. Okay. So let's see one by one. We'll try to spend some time. One by one, we'll try to understand this. Okay. So the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita is explained. So you have the Supreme Controller, who is also called Ishvara or Jagadish. Okay, then you have got the, let me use my pointer. Okay. Then you have got the living entity. So this is the Ishvara or Jagdish, or who is the supreme controller. Then you have got the living entity, that is Jiva. Now this living entity is called the superior energy of the Lord. In one of the verses it will come. We are the superior, we are energies of the Lord, but we are superior energy. But we are under the control of this controller, Supreme Lord of Jagdish. Okay. Then there is something called as the Jagat or the Prakriti or the material nature. And this is the cosmic manifestation. This is also the energy of the Lord, but it's the inferior energy. That means we are superior energy, and the Prakriti is inferior energy. That's why we are trying to control material nature. If you see that we also try to exercise our control on the material nature. And then there is Kala, that is time. That's a impersonal form of the Lord. It's a very powerful energy of the Lord, which is, we'll see what is Kala very soon. And then there is Karma or the activities. So of these 5, the 4 of them, that is Jagdish, Jiva, Jagat and Kala, are eternal. That means it appears that the material world will be doomed, it will go away. We are also not there. All these are temporary manifestations, okay? But they exist in real. They exist in real, and they'll continue to exist in their elemental form also. Just the form will change, okay? The Jagat will be destroyed and go back into its original, material forms. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, this Panchabhut, it will go into that. And our Jiva will also disintegrate into mind, intelligence, ego, apart from earth, water, fire, and ego, all that, and Kala, these are all eternal. Karma is the only thing that is carried forward because of our activity. Whatever I do in this life or whatever I've done in the past life activities, I am seeing the fruits. I'm enjoying the fruits, or I'm suffering the results of that in this life. That is karma. So it will be constantly changing. So therefore, it is not eternal. We have a chance to wipe out our karma. So we will see one by one what this means. Okay, now where is the... Why is it not moving? Let me see. Okay, it's got just stuck because of the pointer, I believe. 1 second. Okay. So now we come to the first aspect of the 5 truths, that is Supreme Controller. Okay. And this Supreme Controller is called Jagdish. And you will see that all the subject matters which are discussed, this Jagdish is the Supreme Controller and is completely cognizant of everything. That means, what it means is, why is my cursor not moving? 1 second. Oh, sorry. 1 second. It's getting, when I'm using the laser pointer, it looks like it's getting stuck. Okay. So we will see each one of these one by one now. Let me go back here. Yeah, so here we have the Supreme Controller, who is the Jagdish or the Lord himself, and then there is the living entity, who is superior energy of the Lord. There is cosmic manifestation or Prakriti or the material creation, and then there is time, which is the form of the Lord, and then there is karma or the activities. So now we will see what is the first truth, that is Jagdish, Ishvara. So there is a statement in Srimad Bhagavatam. Wait a second. Which says that Etesha kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayante Yuge Yuge. That is what it says, is that the Lord is basically the Kala Pumsa means the expansions or the incarnations that is coming. The fountainhead of all that is Lord himself. Etesham Kalam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, it says. That means all these various forms of Vishnu and then these different kind of incarnations that they keep on Dashavatars and all that, and sometimes the various kind of vibhutis which are also coming out. Then the Swayambhu, all various kind of incarnations which are coming out, all the Yuga avatars are coming out. They are all nothing but they are the fountainhead of all that is Indiyari Vyakul. They are basically Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. All the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord, but Lord Krishna is the original personality of the Godhead. This is confirmed, his position. All of them appear on the planets when there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect them. And this is again by the transcendentalists who are saying, Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam ye jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdayate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. They are all the same, but they are different stages of realization. To give you a proper simple example of this, now when I see light outside, natural light, I am saying, oh, sun has come. But actually you are not seeing the sun, you are seeing the sunlight. And from the sunlight, I infer that sun has come. So similarly, Brahman is the effulgence that is coming out from the body of the Paramatma. So when I see the light, I know that there is sun, and then the sun is like a disk. Okay, that's a form that is giving the light. So that disk form is nothing but Paramatma. And inside that sun planet, there is one God sitting, Vivaswan, who is sitting there. So like that, the Paramatma feature is then further if you go, that is Bhagavan himself. So there's a blissful feature of the Lord. So the Brahman realization is like, so when I see the light, actually I'm referring to sun only. So it is like Brahman realization. So that's it. So sunlight does not have any form. So I say impersonal form of the Lord. So some people restrict themselves to that form and they say that Brahman is Bhagavan. Okay, but Brahman is the first stage of realization. Then you go to the second stage, which is Paramatma realization, and that is the localized form, the sun, the planet, that is the Paramatma realization. So Paramatma is present in everybody's heart. It is present in everybody as Paramatma. So it's a constant companion. The Lord is appearing as Paramatma in our heart to give us a direction. But we are not able to see him. That's a different matter. But he is a constant companion. But he has a form. And that form is, when you realize that form at advanced stage, that is basically Bhagavan realization. So at that stage, we understand that he is a creator, maintainer, and destroyer. So here you will see that the soul, okay, that means the jiva is basically Atma, soul. It has got in the subtle form. Now intelligence is subtle, mind is subtle, and the senses are gross. So there are, the various gross senses. And we are part and parcel of the super soul, Paramatma. So you can see two birds sitting on the branch. So one bird is the Jivatma. This is an analogy. And another bird is basically Paramatma. Now Paramatma bird is a witness bird. It is basically Anumanta and Upadrishta. Anumanta means it's basically sanctioning your will. You have a free will, it is sanctioning that will. And Upatrishta, it is overseeing your activities. And this eating bird, second bird is Jiva, that is we. We are constantly, engaged in eating like a bird. So this super soul is actually supervising and seeing the activities of this Jiva. That is what this depiction shows. And we are governed, by the sense objects. So we have got 10 senses, which is classified into 5 knowledge acquiring senses, and 5 the knowledge acquiring senses are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. And there are 5 working senses. That is, so these 5 working senses, they are classified as basically hands, legs, anus, genitals, and also what is that? There's one more. I'm not remembering right now. Let me see whether I can find it somewhere. Okay, so it is our speech. Our speech, because speech also is basically one of the organs, which is basically our working organ. So 5 working organ and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. These constitute the 10 organs, and then there are corresponding sense objects. So the senses and sense objects. So all these are covered in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We don't have to worry too much of it right now. As we progress slowly, we'll be able to understand. So the sense objects are classified as smell, then taste, then this form, then there is what is called as touch and sound. So each of these working senses, the corresponding, there is a sense object. So that is how this entire Jiva Atma is constructed. And then the essence of this Bhagavad Gita, or the most confidential knowledge, is that we are not this body. We should forget that we are this body. We should come out of this thinking that we are this body, but we are actually Atma. Okay, that is what this entire Bhagavad Gita is teaching us. And because we are Atma, we are connected to Paramatma. Mamayamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, Krishna says in one of the verses. So all the living beings are part and parcel of me. Like the finger is part of my hand, the hand is part of my body. So like that, it's all connected. So we are connected to the Lord. Okay, so that is how we understand as part and parcel. And this soul basically represents as consciousness. So the property of the soul is all pervading in our body. When we say that I am what I am, that knowledge you're getting is because of consciousness. So the important property of the soul is consciousness. And consciousness breakup is thinking, willing, okay, and acting. Thinking, willing, and acting. These 3 things are property of the consciousness. So all living beings are under the control of the 3 modes of nature, that is Prakriti. So Prakriti is primarily, we are under the control of this Prakriti, 3 modes of nature. We'll come to that. What is that? And when the soul comes in contact with 3 modes of nature, it becomes contaminated. That is what is called as material consciousness. And the pure spiritual nature, which actually in the original state it is pure, that becomes contaminated because of the desires born out of the contamination of the 3 modes of nature. And this forms the basis of never-ending cycle of birth and death. And our whole goal is to purify this consciousness and terminate this the cycle of birth and death, so that we are getting the liberation to go out of this material cycle and enter into the spiritual world, which is full of bliss. Now here you find the third truth, that is the Prakriti, or the material nature. Okay, so here we find that it comprises of the mode of goodness, that is called Sattva Guna, mode of passion, that is Rajaguna, and the mode of ignorance, that is Tamoguna. So the mode of, if somebody is situated in the mode of mode of Sattva Guna, then automatically you will be tempted to acquire some spiritual knowledge. You will be freed from all those sins. You will not feel like committing any unethical things, and you will be conditioned by always by mode of goodness, means sense of happiness. You will always look to search for happiness. And in Rajagun, you will automatically be in the mode of passion. Mode of passion means you will try to assimilate lot of desires. It's unending desires. And you will be going on doing one activity or other activity to search for happiness. And you will get attracted. This is, typical mode of passion is lusty desire between man and woman. That's all coming under the mode of passion. And ignorance or tamagun signifies little bit of madness. That is, we are completely ignorant and we are not having any knowledge, and we are lazy, we sleep a lot, and we tend to take intoxication methods, etc. So this material nature is providing for all the souls, 8.4 million species. This material nature is providing the suitable body depending upon the desire. The desire that I possess in this life, I get a suitable body in the next life. And the three modes of nature, which are mentioned here as Sattva-guna, Raja-guna, and Tama-guna, are called nothing but the illusory energy of the Lord or Maya. Okay? Because these are only affecting the conditioned souls. Once you transcend this, when you transcend this kind of material nature, then automatically they will not trouble you anymore. You are out of Maya. So that is the stage of moksha or liberation, and that will help you to go to come to Krishna beyond the cycle of birth and death. Okay. Now we go to the next point. That is the fourth truth. That is Kala. Kala is the eternal time. So in Gita, in one of the verses, Krishna says, Kalasmi. Kalasmi means I am time. That means basically time, what we say, time, rushing of time. So when you know that, when you understand through Gita that Krishna is time, then you start to respect time also. Time is not something that is very cheap. We should not abuse time. We should not waste time. Time is very, very precious. Time, with every passing minute, every passing second, our life is dwindling. Time is taking away our lifespan. We are lifespan. So therefore, we should always think that this time is Krishna. How I should utilize it for in his thoughts, absorb in his thoughts. Even if you are doing a material activity, we can always think about the Lord and do the material activity also. Time is the cause for the entire transformation. Today, if you don't look what we looked 10 years back or 20 years back, or say when we were small kids or when we were child, it is because of time. Time has actually transformed us completely, and going forward, time will make us look very old and feeble. So time causes the complete transformation of our body. Okay, so this is the job of the time. So therefore, time is Krishna's energy, as Krishna says. It's the most powerful force of the material world. Okay, and among all the killers, time is ultimate. So time is also, when your time is ticking, it's also say, time is ticking, or a ticking time box. It's a time bomb. We say all that kind of words. This is all coming because from the scriptures, because time is the greatest killer. Nobody is spared, whether it is Napoleon or with Hitler or even the great sages. Everybody has to vacate this place by the force of time. And now we come to the fifth truth of Sambandha, that is karma. Karma means all the activities that we are doing in this particular world. Karmano hi api bodhavyam cha vikarmanah akarmanascha bodhavyam gana karmano gati. Bhagavad Gita says that this action are of different types. So it's very difficult to understand the intricacies of the action. So for example, there is something called as karma, or actions that is performed as per scriptures. Then there is vikarma, that is actions which are performed against the scriptures. There are people who says, I don't care for the scriptures. I will do what I want to do. And there are people who will say, okay, the scriptures are saying this, dharma, I'll follow this dharmic path. So one is a karma part. If you do good karma, you get favorable results. And if you do bad karma, you get unfavorable results. So vikarma is something you're doing unfavorable things, and you're not following the directions of the scriptures. And then there is something called as akarma. That's also a type of karma. And for doing akarma, there is no suffering for any reaction. That means you're doing some activity, and for that there is no reaction. We are all worried about the reaction, because sometimes even the positive reaction will bind you in this material world. We want a reaction which will take us to connect to spiritual world. So Bhagavad Gita will teach us what is that akarma. So that's why Bhagavad Gita is a literature for art of living and for art of dying also. Okay. So for example, vikarma activities are listed here like illicit sex, that is sex outside marriage, intoxication, gambling, meat eating. All these are coming under vikarma, because if they are not prescribed in the scriptures, then it is basically coming under the act of vikarma. One may argue and say that I am doing it as a free will. Okay, you have got the free will, you can do whatever you want, but then there are certain things which are denoted in the scriptures. So the summary of the 5 truths is that mentioned here. This is a very good, if you have not so far followed anything, just follow this slide and you've understood the entire introduction. So this is a beautiful depiction of the entire summary of these 5 truths. So the first thing is there is Ishvara or Jagdish, who is a creator, maintainer, destroyer, and he is a conscious of all the living being and all the universes. So 8.4 million species, he is having conscious of all the species. Right now, he is conscious, he is present in each one of us and is present in each one of the 8.4 million species. And that is in one universe. And there are multiple such universes and he is present in each and every universe. So you can see how big his consciousness is supreme. And then there is Jiva, living beings. Okay, and Jiva are basically not bodies, but they are living beings who are actually Atma. And we as living beings are conscious about ourselves. I know myself. I know the pain and pleasure of myself. I know exactly what I'm thinking, but I don't know what you're thinking. So each one of you, each one of us can think about ourselves. That's why our consciousness is our own self, but we cannot think about others. So we have a limited, so in one sense, qualitatively, we have got similar property like Jagadish, but quantitatively, it is very, very tiny, like Anu and Vibhu. So the connection, our job is basically as Jiva, because we have said we are Mame Amsha Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So our job is to get connected to Jagdish. Okay. Then we understand that this connection, if you do, and this activity that you perform under the connection, that is keeping Jagdish or Ishvara in the center, you do any activity, it may appear like a normal activity, but that activity is called yoga. Yoga means basically link or connection. Now, over a period of time, the definition of yoga has changed and it has gone into more into a mundane yoga, that is bodily postures and exercise, without knowing the purpose of doing it. The ultimate purpose of yoga is basically to connect to the Lord. And if you are doing anything that connects to the Lord, that connection is yoga. And that property only a Jiva has got. And the third thing is Prakriti or Jagat, we said. And this Prakriti includes basically 3 modes of nature. Prakriti, by say, like it's a matter, there is no consciousness in Prakriti. It is Jivatma who is coming inside. The Jivatma has got consciousness. But matter, like a table has got no consciousness. But the table exists. I also exist. But I have got consciousness. So that is a difference between me and the table. Okay. And now Prakriti also shares a relationship with Jagdish. And that relationship is coming from Kala. So Ishvara or Jagdish is controlling Prakriti or Jagat through Kala, that is time. So Ishvara controls Prakriti or Jiva through Kala, and there's a relationship between Prakriti and Jiva also. What is that relationship? We are present here and doing some activities. Like I'm inside the house, I'm performing some activities. So imagine this house to be the Prakriti, and in the larger scale, you're doing some activity. Okay. And that activity is nothing but karma. And that is our relationship with Prakriti. Because we are not outside the Prakriti and doing something. We are inside the Prakriti and we are doing something. That is karma. So the Jiva is connected to Prakriti through karma. And this actually leads the repeated cycle of birth and death. So whatever karma we are doing, okay, it's basically material consciousness karma that leads for us to be born again and again in the cycle of birth and death. And if the Jiva, through higher knowledge, higher principles, try to detach himself from Prakriti, okay, that means like you're in the world, but you're outside the world. Like you give a swan a mixture of milk and water, the swan will selectively take only milk and it will leave the water. So like that, if Jiva develops an attachment to Jagdish, and that attachment grows so much over a period of time that he develops now a detachment slowly from Prakriti. That stage is a higher consciousness, that is spiritual consciousness. So the Jiva, Jagat and Jagadish, these have got a triangular relationship that is called a Tattva, Traya Tattva, and that relationship is consciousness, matter, and absolute. So you have to understand these three in that matter. And if we develop that permanent relationship with Jiva constantly in the yogic act, whatever you perform, that will guarantee and give you the liberation from this Prakriti. That is our ultimate goal. Okay, so with that, the summary of this process of understanding. So we are in the process of understanding, that is, in the material world, everyone is full of miseries. The cause of suffering and actual destination is worth inquiring. Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to answer these questions, and the purpose of Gita is to relieve all from the material anxieties. And finally, we come to this last slide, which is the benefits of studying Bhagavad Gita. This is given in Gita Mahatmya. Gita Shastram idam punyam yah patet prayatat bhumam Vishna padam avapnoti vaya sokadi varjitah. Gita is a transcendental literature to be read carefully. If one follows the instructions of Gita, one can be freed from all the miseries and anxieties in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual. Gita adhyaya shilasya pranayama parasya cha naiva shanti hi papani purva janma krutani cha. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeeds does not act upon him. So this is a very, very important thing, because we are all coming with certain past karmas, and therefore we are inflicted with miseries, more miseries, or we are getting some fruits which will bind us more. Whereas when we read Bhagavad Gita and we are able to clearly understand the difference between matter and spirit, and who we are and how we should dovetail our activities, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of our past misdeeds will not act upon us. See, so this is a clear thing which is said in Gita Mahatmya by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has composed Gita Mahatmya. Mala nirmochanam pumsam jala snana dine dine sakudgitam bhasi snanam samsara mala nashanam. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material world is altogether vanquished. What more can we guarantee we need? So this is all clear verdict given about Gita Mahatmya. And with that, I would like to end today's session. And I hope you found it quite interesting. If there are any questions, comments or questions, we will still go ahead and take it, because if you try to, we are going over time, but then it's very important to get the foundations of the introduction also very right. And if we skip this, the next session also will be quite long. So if you have understood the Sambandha Tattva, next session our Mr. Shyam Sundar Rao will do the other section, which is primarily, once again, am I out of the sharing mode? So he will basically conduct the Abhideya and Prayojana Tattva, which is very, very important. And after understanding the Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana Tattva, we will be in a position to assimilate the complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, verse by verse, chapter by chapter. What we said last time, page by page, become a sage before you age to come out of the cage. So remember these golden words of some great sage, and I've also learned from somebody. So this is very, very profound statement, and if we follow that, then definitely we all will lead a very happy and blissful life, and also will master the art of living and art of dying. So if there are any questions, please come forward, or any comments, please come forward.
Thank you so much, Sheshadri sir. I am so happy that I've decided to join your class. And my intention is to absorb deep within, and then it will come as a practice. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll see you the next session.
It is
Yeah.
indeed,
Thank you.
it is indeed our good fortune, friends. Raghu Pillai is a very accomplished corporate trainer, international corporate trainer, and his courses that he conducts in the training, on various topics he can conduct is fabulous. I have had the good fortune of getting trained under him in the corporate leadership in Indian Academy of Training and Leadership, Chennai, and Synergy. So he's a very, so I share a special bond with him, and I'm very, very grateful to him that he chose to join this. And I hope the wisdom that we all gain from here, we can use it for a better purpose also. Because Bhagavad Gita knowledge gives you rich wisdom, and there are so many things to learn. It is unlimited, infinite, knowledge, and we can use it in all spheres of life. And you will see that you will only become a better version of yourself as you go forward. Okay. Yes, there is a hand
Thank you.
raised. That is Anusha. Please go ahead.
I'll take leave. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for joining. See you next week. Yes, Anusha,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for breathing in so much of wisdom and sharpening our basics. There's one doubt with respect to Maya, that concept that you had explained. So during the course of presentation, you had mentioned that Maya is the subtotal of three material modes of nature, if I'm right. But Prabhuji, my understanding of Maya, if I can place before you, and if you could correct me and connect with respect to whatever you have displayed. So my perception of Maya was that there are 2 points. Point number one, it puts us into a misconception that we are this body and we are not the soul. And point number two, not only that, but it engages us more in the attachment towards the bodily relations.
Correct.
So these are my two basic understandings.
Yeah.
On an advanced level, how do I understand with
Yeah.
respect to the material
So-
of nature that you said?
Absolutely. So the understanding what you have is right, but you have to understand that from where, what is the source of that. Now, when we say that attachment to body is Maya, because body is temporary, and therefore it is Maya. But this body is designed by the modes of nature. You get a particular body coming from the modes of material nature. You carried a desire, and based on that, these modes of nature, in combination with the elements, in combination with time, gave you a particular body. And from the modes of nature also comes what is called as ego, the false ego, understanding that I'm this body. So the origin for that is actually basically coming from modes of nature only. Okay, so in the like how we say Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Now, when we talk of Vishnu, we say Vishnu has done so much, Vishnu has done this, but the source of Vishnu is Krishna. Okay, so similarly, what you said, Maya, to understand Maya at a basic level, that which is not, that which is making you believe that I am the body, okay, is Maya, is also correct. But a higher understanding is that understanding is coming because of your association with the modes of nature. You're associating with, for example, if you associate with Vishusuddha Sattva, which is beyond the modes of nature, then you will not have the understanding that I am the body. Then your understanding is I am the soul. But the moment you start understanding, you start associating with Tamogun, Rajogun, and also with Sattvagun, then your understanding is that I am the body. Okay, that's how it is tricking you. Okay, and then from that comes the various sub thoughts also coming. So the root cause is basically the modes of nature. From there it is coming. That is how we should understand.
Perfect, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm Dr. Radha Mohan Gupta. Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. Prabhuji, you presented 5 elements, Jagdish, Jiva, Jagat, Kala, and Karma. Now, they all are interconnected, which was very well presented. Only thing which I need to understand a bit more in detail is that while they are interconnected, I saw one new thing, 6th one, yoga there. through which the Jiva, Jagdish and Jiva are connected, right? My only doubt is that could this yoga also could be a form of karma? Why we are
Yeah.
representing this yoga separately and not as karma?
Yeah. So yoga, we will study that in different chapters. The Bhagavad Gita is divided into different sections. 18 chapters are divided as first six, next six, and then last six. So the first six deals with Karma Yoga, the middle six deals with Bhakti Yoga, and the last six deals with Jnana Yoga. Okay, so yoga can be of different types of yoga. So the Karma Yoga is one of the yogic process. I'm not disclosing too much of it right now because you have to understand this Karma Yoga is explained 6 chapters. Right now we are in the introduction only. But right now it will suffice to understand that this yoga is something that connects. Yoga can be Karma Yoga, yoga can be Jnana Yoga, yoga can be Bhakti Yoga. And then Krishna will say which yoga is better, what is the hierarchy of the yoga. That is also explained in the across the 18 chapters. So it's a process that we will understand one by one. And then if you do this yoga, where you go, if you do that yoga, where you go, if you do this yoga, where you go, all that will be explained in course of the chapters when we come. So at this stage, yes, yoga connects. It can be Karma Yoga also, it can be Jnana Yoga also, it can be Bhakti Yoga also, it can be Dhyana Yoga also. Okay, Prabhu?
Okay, thank you. I'll wait for the chapter. I think I need to wait to understand more, and
Yeah,
I will
sure.
do that.
Yeah.
Thank
So when
you.
we come to each chapters when we divide that into sections for the ease of understanding, so at that time the clarity will be much more. Now this introduction is purely taken from Srila Prabhupada's 34 pages of introduction prior to chapter 1. So this will only lead us to chapter 1. So we have completed maybe around 50% of the introduction today, and the next 50% will be done in the next week, next Saturday. Okay.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Welcome,
Hare
sir.
Krishna.
Welcome, sir. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to? Let me see if there's anything in the chat questions. Let me quickly see in the chat. Any questions are there? Okay, voice is bubbling. Does it mean that voice is not clear? I don't know. Hope the voice was clear throughout. Okay. So, okay, there is one query where does everybody have this Bhagavad Gita book? If not, please purchase one because it will be easy to study. So whatever we cover in the week, you can study on your own also. And even when you're reading, some doubts will come. You can put it forward in the class. You can do that also. Okay. Any other things in the?
I have offered that as a service, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Anyone wants Gita, please let me know. I will send it home.
Oh, very good. That's a wonderful service. So please send a message in the group,
Correct.
WhatsApp message you can send, and Shyam Sundar ji will send it to you. Okay, so there seems to be no other questions on the chat box also. So then maybe we can end today's session. I thank you all. And also I thank the people who have already exited in participating today. And we shall join again next Saturday at the same place. Sorry, today we went well over time. We'll try to restrict the onus is upon Shyam Sundar to conclude at 8 o'clock on next Saturday. But there are a lot of topics to be covered in the introduction. So let's see how it goes and see you next week. Same time, same place in Gitamritam Rasamahalyam. Okay? Okay, I'm closing the Zoom meeting now. Hare Krishna.